Good evening, and welcome to Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alistair Dayhawk, and tonight, me proud to present Kamen Rider Gacha, Episode 2. So, we leave off where Haruto defeats one of the Weird Sisters. He gets approached by none other than Minato sensei, and he reveals himself to be one of the masters of the so-called Alchemist Academy. And of course, Haruto's like, huh? Minato sensei, you're part of this Hogwarts school of witchcraft and wizardry and all that? And of course, Kido also says, yeah, I also attend the school. And of course, Haruto's like, wait, so you're going to two schools? Like, he gets super excited just a little bit. And Minato sensei, for some reason, decides to mention the career survey. Now that Haruto finally found his gacha, and is staring at the cards, and Haruto says he wants to learn more about the chemies, and this is where Minato sensei extends the invitation to join the Alchemist Academy, which, if you have noticed, when he extended the offer, I'm surprised the camera did not shift to Kodou's reaction. It remained blurry for some reason. I don't know why the camera did not focus on her to give her reaction, but regardless if she wasn't, like, her face was blurry or not, you can tell that she was like, sensei, I don't think it's a good idea. Like, I feel that she was against the idea of Haruto joining the academy. So yeah, but in this scene though, I wish Haruto would have just like, no, I don't think it's for me. Like, almost like he's not interested. Like, he's not interested in joining any magic school. Just to give some, like, for this episode, be like, okay, Kodou, go out there and persuade him to join us, because he's the one he is the only one who can capture all 101 cards. Without him, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. Whether Minato Sensei sees potential in Horato as a chemist or not, it's irrelevant. He is the only one who can capture all the cards. So I wish, Minato Sensei would have just tell Kodou, like, hey, you need to persuade him into joining us, because he is important. He is the only one. But Hotaro was like, okay, let's do this without question, And then we get into the opening credits, which, I have to admit, the opening credits, it sounds anime-ish, but it's catchy. It's better than the previous opening credits from past seasons, But hey, I like the song. So we get into the first scene, and Haruto gets inside the academy, and you can guess it. The moment he saw, the alchemy room, he gets all super excited. He's asking questions, and this is where we get a little bit of information in regards who this old man is. Kodou asks Hotaro, like, hey, how on earth did you get the gacha driver and those cards? Like, where did you get it? Where did you go? And of course, he's telling the story. He doesn't know the name of the old man because, everything was going way too fast and the weird sisters. And according to Kodou, apparently the man who gave the driver to Hotaro was the one who stole the 101 chemie cards 10 years ago. And he is labeled as a traitor. And then Kodou walks away, and we get a flashback where Kodou was a little girl, and then you see the man who gave the gacha driver, reading her a story. So, is there a strong possibility that the traitor could be Kodou's father? Could he be a teacher? We don't know yet. But let's assume he is the father of Kodou, let's say. And then after that, Minato sensei, okay, you want to be a part of this school, you need to pass the test. And he needs to pass a balancing test where he is supposed to take 2 cards, put it on the scale, and hope they balance. If they balance, he's officially part of the school. If not, then he is gone. Obviously, he's going to be a part of the school. It's just, I don't know what's the point of the test when you know that the main character will officially be a part of the school. So I don't know. It would have been very interesting if he didn't pass and be like, oh man. And he will try his best to convince Minato sensei, hey, give me another chance, give me another test, give me something, Just stall a little bit until he gets officially in. But that's just me. So we get back home, and Hotaro, has this talk with, Mama-san. And we briefly get to know what happened to Haruto's dad. And then Mama-san mentions about dreams and that sort of thing. So I don't want to disregard this scene just because I'm going at it too fast. But this scene is like an important scene because this gives us, the audience, the talk about pursuing your dreams. And it's important to pursue your dreams. If you're looking for your gacha, find what your gacha is. And then I took a step back when Mama-san was talking about her husband and how he's supposedly venturing off into the world doing God knows what without even telling his wife that, hey, I have this dream, I want to go on an adventure, I'll see you when I return, that sort of thing. He just up and leaves his wife and son to I'm like, wait a minute, this is just a mixed messaging here, because you have this scene where Mama-san talks about her husband just venturing off into the world without telling his wife and just leaving his son behind, his family behind. And then you talk about, well, your father is venturing off because if it's his dream. I will not stand in the way of that. It's important to pursue your own dreams. Which leads off to Mama-san, hey, like, I noticed that you got your gacha, and Haruto was like, how did you know? Well, I'm your mom. I know on the look on your face. Well, yes, I found my gacha. I will do my best to, maintain my dream and go for it, that sort of thing. So you have these weird messagings in this scene. Because, if you're a dad and you're just up and leave to God knows where without telling your family, it's just, okay. But he's pursuing his dreams. I don't want to get in the way from that. but you have a family, you have a son, you have a business. But enough about the weird real life thing. This scene is all about getting to know the father, where he's at, and also the message of pursuing one's dream. That's pretty much it. So we get into this next scene where the skateboard card enters the fray, and he ends up possessing the skateboard. All the while, you see Hotaro's friend just sitting there at this skateboarding park and just like questioning what happened, because he knows that he saw something but he cannot remember. And I have to say, the memory wipe will only do so much when you have someone who is like at the wrong place at the wrong time. He's just popping, like these chemies are popping around, and Kachikai just sees that, and what it's like, are you gonna memory wipe him every single episode? It's like, yeah, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So you see the chemie just possessing the skateboard, having fun with the kids. Then next you see this car with two robbers, and then the malice starts pouring out of one of the robbers, and already the skateboard card is getting attracted towards, like, he's getting pulled into that negative energy until the malice took possession of the chemie, and he turns evil, and then he follows the robbers to God knows where. Now we get to Hotaro, and he is at a bind because he doesn't know what to do. Like, he doesn't know how to pass this test. And then Kuto shows up, and this is where we get more information about the chemies, the rings of power, what happens, the reasons why the chemies were sealed away in the first place. So she ends up explaining the mass exchange technique, and how you can use it with the ring of power, which unfortunately Hotaro does not have yet. She explains that a little bit about alchemy, that alchemy is not really magic at all, it's more of a science. And she explains that nothing lasts forever, and when it does, a chemie is born. And then we get into this cutscene with the two robbers. They're counting the money, and all of a sudden, one of the robbers betrays the other by throwing him over a bridge. So yeah, he's dead. And then once that happened, the skateboard and the robber became one. They became a monster. The same thing that happened with one of the weird sisters in the first episode. That happened. Now we get back to Kudo and Hotaro, and she further explains that the chemies goes against the natural order of things. And if they get touched by human malice, they get turned into amalgam, which is the monsters we just saw in the first episode, in this episode as well. And that's the reason why they are sealed away in the first place, because it's to protect the natural order, it's to protect humanity, because unfortunately we as humans, we have malice in our hearts. And chemies, if they're chemies running around, they get attracted to the negative energies that we have. And once they are drawn to it, that's where amalgams are born. However, there's always positive energies as well. But yeah. So She explains that, chemies are sealed for the greater good, and then all of a sudden, Helper One senses danger. And at the same time, you see the skateboard monster robbing money trucks to beating up cops. And then, the kids found Amalgam, and Kodou, does her thing. She came nearly close into rescuing the chemie, but unfortunately, due to the robbers' malice, it's just too strong, and the monster is still wreaking havoc. And then you have Haruto. He changes to Gacha, and they have a brief fight. And he even unleashed a new combo attack called the Older Me Mantis. It's a new attack. However, the monster skates away. You see Haruto trying to run, but he just goes face first. Then, coincidentally, you see Minato sensei just casually riding his motorcycle, be like, hey, I'm in the area. So, yeah, with just riding my motorcycle here. And mind you, the motorcycle looks badass. It really does. It's better than previous bikes. Unfortunately, it's going to be one and only debut. Of course, there will be more episodes featuring the motorcycle, but with past Kamen Rider seasons, you only get to see it in the first debut and the last episode. So that's going to be the one and only chance to see the what's it called, the Gold Dash. And it talks. It's like a Pokemon. Dash, dash, dash. Go Dash. So Minato sensei, it's like, okay, well, you're in a bind, so I'll let you borrow my motorcycle. And Hotaro takes it for a spin. So we have a mini motorcycle / skateboard race with a few CGI stunts. But eventually, he saves the day. He defeats the monster. He captures the skateboard. So now he has a new chemie card. And then we move on to the last scene. Well, two last scenes. We get to witness Hotaro's. We get to witness him passing the test. And, Kodou was surprised, like, how did you pass? And of course, it came down to begging the cards to one of them to lose weight and the other gain weight, and that's how he passed. And Minato sensei is like, that's not the way to do it, but you know what? That's fine. You pass. Like, dude, you didn't say specifically, like, okay, what can Hotaro do to pass at all? You only said, okay, your job is to balance these two cards, make them at the same weight, and that's it. That's how you pass. You never said anything specific about, okay, what is he allowed to do? What is he not to do? So you never added those stipulations at all. So don't be like all grumpy, like, oh, you passed, because you like wrong, but you passed. Like you did. It wasn't supposed to be that way, but fine. But nah. So he passed. He gets all overly excited, and he gets his ring of power. We get to see two new characters. And then we move to the last scene where we get to know a little bit more of Kodou and how she is pro rules to the T. And she said, like, look, I'm happy that you passed, but it just went against the rules. But it's like Sensei never gave the rules. Never. So why is she all pouty? But you can tell that she will follow the rules to a T. She will not break them. But you see Haruto like, look, I found another way, you know. I did what sensei asked me to. The goal was to balance those two cards, and I did. He never explained, the what can I do, what can't I do. He never said that. But he further down goes by saying, look, my wish is to become an alchemist so I can befriend all the chemies and live freely with them. And then we get to this last scene where we get to see this guy in purple with the black jacket, and he's like, I'm not amused with this guy, this wannabe chemist, alchemist, sorry. If I said chemist earlier, I do apologize, but this wannabe alchemist is a Kamen Rider. What a joke. And then he just leaves, and that's the end. I mean, it's an okay episode. I have to say though, Hotaro gives me a lot of a few main writers vibes. I can't put my finger on it. It just reminds me a whole lot, maybe of, I don't know, of Takeru, or maybe an Naruto, maybe, because some of the main writers, they have this goal where human beings and whatever it is that they're up against, they want to coexist. That's always the goal. Here, I'm getting these hints that that the final episode could be that chemies and humans can coexist. I feel that Hotaro will be in a situation where when there's new chemies, people like Minato sensei, Kodou would say, look, we had to seal this chemie away for the greater good, and Hotaro will be like, no, there must be another way, and he will go against it. I feel that the relationship, I feel Hotaro is more like, look, I will follow the rules, but if there's another way to go around those rules, I will do so. While you have Kodou, who's like to the T of rules. She doesn't want to break them, and she even says that that's how I live my life, by following the rules. So it will be very interesting to see Hotaro and Kodou's relationship in terms of, we need to follow these rules. Let's follow the rules, but let's go it sideways. Let's do it upside down to get the answer. And you have friction. You will have definitely friction. Anything else I want to say? Oh yeah, in the park scene, I forgot to mention, Kuto also mentions like, hey, there are evil coming in to, like, there's threats like the weird sisters and other threats as well. So Hotaro, you need to be careful on that. And I mean, that's all I can say, because to sum it all up, it's all about pursuing your dreams. If and just never give up on your dreams. Never give up on a situation. When there's a will, there is a way, like he said. If there's a will, there's a way. And I can't help but, again, tell Minato sensei, like, hey, like, you didn't say anything about, okay, how can I, like, what are the rules? Because he only said, hey, you need to pass this by balancing two cards. That was it. That was it. I don't understand that reaction, or like that shout, like, wrong, but that's not how you do it. But okay. All right, but at least we got to know a little bit more information about Hotaro's dad. We get to know a little bit of the supposed traitor that gave the driver to Hotaro. And yeah, I think that's it. I mean, what else can I say? Apparently, there's rumors on social media that Kodou, the actress who plays Kodou, does not act. She is, I don't know, stale, whatever. I mean, in the first episode, just like I thought that the actor who played, Hotaro and Kodou, they both are finding their way. They were stiff. At least Hotaro now in this episode feels a little bit more less stiff. Kodou, on the other hand, she's getting by, but she's playing a character who's like following the rules and be all stiff and stuff. But other than that, I mean, what's your take on the actors, on their performance as a whole? What do you guys think? I'm curious, but anything else? I think that's it. If I missed anything, guys, you know what to do. Write in the comments below. If you like episode 2, give me, the reasons why you like it. Did you dislike it? Just write everything on the comments below. Let us interact. Give a like if you like it. Please subscribe. And also, one last thing before I go. I finally uploaded my heroes video for Geats. I do apologize that the video is pretty much 3 hours long, but I have lots to say, and there are timestamps. So if you have a specific character you want to listen to, by all means, do so. And hopefully my heroes video will be less than 3 hours, but I wouldn't count on it. But I hope I did the video justice, and I did my best with the pictures, and I did my best with what my memory was giving me, and yeah, so hopefully you stuck through the 3 hours. I doubt it, but if for those who managed to stuck through the 3 hours, thank you so much. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe and like, and I'll see you all on the other side of Oblivion. Johnny!